Hey everyone, welcome. Still a little tired from BEJS. Oh boy. How was it? It looked awesome. I'm very jealous. I was just Googling all of you to make sure I've figured out who is who. It's easier with some names than others. Mostly easy. Ooh. I was just at a fun little meeting learning about cool stuff. I feel like my brain is full and I don't know how to handle a full brain. So life is good. Ooh. Am I going to review the PRs I did for you in Rozelle's project? Yes, I am. That's exactly what I'm going to do today once I finish getting my camera right where I liked it. There we go. There we go. Come on. Gotta get that focus. Ugh. All right. Cool. That's close enough. Yay! All right, y'all are seeing my screen, so you get to see my stream elements stuff. So let's go to the project command. Let's change it. Working on some PR reviews in Open Contribution Site. Very exciting. Pull requests. Boop. Okay. Can I review a PR for your project? Yeah, actually, I'd love to. I love reviewing pull requests. I feel like it's an art and science, you know? Like the ability to do it well without offending people horribly and also still getting the information across. That's hard. So hit me up with that PR link. But hey everyone, gonna send y'all some commands. Bang Josh! There we go. That's me. I always set stuff up on the socials, what I'm doing. So gonna just get that set up. Where's 3 different freaking Twitters that I'm using now. Love to see it. Let's get that stream manager out here. Your project or not your PR. Happy to review either way. All right. Yeah, I meant 3. I originally said 3:30. I was wrong. Okay. So first up, some great PRs from CBID, Chrissy Codes. How do you go on? Feature at ESLint. Oh, that's one of my favorite things. It sounds good. So let's just I'll just post the link there. Fun fact, you can search by author. CBID to all caps and PRs. Here we go. So I'm gonna post the actual link to them because I want it to be permalink. So yeah, I'll starting off with an older one of 2 by issue number. How is Blue Sky going? Still not on there. Oh, let me I got you. Let me send you an invite code. I sent one to my brother a few days ago. He hasn't used it, so I guess oops. You're the first to ask, and that is exactly how I'm gonna decide who gets my invite code. It's mid. That's accurate. Oh shoot. Well, there goes the stream. Whoever can copy that. I hate how Twitter pops up the messages. Trash app. Love you too. Please use that invite code quickly before someone else uses it and then spams. I know everyone here is lovely people who's in the chat, but I always worry. Anyway, yeah, it's all right. It's like clearly not as well built as Twitter or Mastodon. Like it's newer, it's a much smaller team. The features are generally there. It doesn't have everything. I think it was like blocking or something like randomly is rating on like a lot more infrastructural work. Oh yeah, posting link cards still always fails to fetch. Already claimed. Well, oh, by you. Oh my god. little heart panic there. Nicely done. All right. Cool. So let's look at these. Number 107. Twitter's made, I'm understanding, on the same tech, right? Cool. So let's talk about this project and what we're doing with it. I'm in like go mode today. I'm all caffeinated up. I'm going for a run after this. Sorry if this is a lot. But yeah, Open Contribution Site. I've been talking about doing this for ages. Roselle Scarlett, aka Black Root Guides from GitHub, also is involved. I want to make a good resource that helps advocate for and explain why your company should contribute to open source. She mentioned in her stream. Awesome. Yay. I'm really excited about it because I think it's a great idea. If you want more information, you can pop over to the GitHub org. in theory, we'll eventually have a website that's literally what the open contribution site repo is. But I can't get GitHub pages to work. And it's like this whole thing. Anyway, in the meantime, love me some technical difficulties. In the meantime, we're just working on the repo. Like, you can get it working locally. So code open contribution site. Come on, VS Code. There we go. Git pull pm. Wait. Git check out main, git pull pm just to refresh, pm run dev. Here we go. So like, it's totally unstyled. If anyone's a designer and wants to like send some suggestions for how to do this, that'd be great. Oh yeah, the home. It's like this weird caching issue, or like base path is a problem. I know someone should yell at me to use Astro or something, but you know what? Next.js is what I'm used to. And eventually I want to make this like a super dynamic site. Eventually I'd love to like track like which companies do what and like have interactions and explainers, but for now it's mostly static content. So yeah, we'd like to add a whole bunch of explainer pages, like if you're a whatever, developer, non-developer, finance, etc. What is Astro? It's like I normally give a joke answer when you ask, but let me try to give an actual one. It's like a HTML framework that allows you to write your page content in basically any UI framework you want, like React, Solid, Vue, etc., and then creates the HTML page for you, and also allows you to indicate islands of interactivity in the page, so that by default it's no JavaScript, but you can enable like quick little interaction things or like much larger islands. So it's great for performance. How did I do? Is that a good explanation? Punish me. Cool. Just moving this stuff around. Yeah, Blue Sky has some accessibility issues. For example, post thread being the title. It's good. I think a wow is good. Yay! Making you happy is basically all I ever want in life. All right, so yeah, I'm reviewing CBID 2, aka Chrissy Code's contributions. So first of all, thank you for doing these. Second of all, I'm really excited that someone is actually contributing. So just taking a look at this. This one is feature explainer guide on what open source is for non-developers. Addressing the issue, feature, add an explainer page for what open source is for non-developers. So that's nice. Let me just post the specific issue here, number 22. And then the PR number 107, we have like a lot of, I think, past, yeah, like auto dependency bumps. This is, by the way, most repos I work in is like 50 million deps updates because of the auto updates. All right. So what I like to do is I'll after reviewing what the issue is, just to refamiliarize, I'll do with the GitHub CLI. Let's zoom in, get a GHPR checkout, and then the number, git pull, pm. Ooh, repo not found. Am I in the right? Do I have the right history? I've never seen this issue before. Git pull, repo not found. Huh. We're gonna approve and run. Check the Git history in the online viewer to make sure these commits are the right ones. So like 3 days ago, git log, what's the date, the 16th? Okay, so that's 3 days ago. Applied, added Joshua's suggestions, Okay, awesome. So, cool. Awesome. So I should be able to pm run dev and see the latest stuff here. I'm just going to go to the file change viewed. If I look at the first changed file, cspell, that's line 2, dictionaries TypeScript on the new line, and then yeah, line 35 we see time frame. Awesome, great. So that's happy. So yeah, this is like an auto formatting issue. Right now, if you make a new terminal to run commands, if you run pm run format :write locally, it should write all the files. So I'm just going to comment here. This is an example. I always try to categorize GitHub PR review comments. What would I say this? I don't know, build. Maybe this is an example of the format task failing. which I believe I remember seeing. Yes, prettier. So here we go. I'm gonna link prettier task failing. You can fix this by running pnpm format right locally, or by installing alternately if you're editing in VS Code locally or in a code space, I believe, and have the suggested extensions installed. Saving a file should auto format. That's set up because we have a .vscode/settings JSON, which suggests that on save you format on save. There it is. And you use the formatter, which is this prettier VS Code extension. It's the prettier for VS Code extension with the prettier for VS Code extension. Also, if you run npm install locally, making code space, it should auto format it for you. So this is all mentioned as stuff you generally should do in the C GitHub development MD file. So let me, I'll actually go to the site and copy the URL to the file. So I'll note that this is something that comes up a lot, not exclusively to, but very often with like first time or relatively newer to the project, or at least area of stuff that I work in contributors. So I do have a issue filed in the template package that this is based on. Template type field node package. I want to have a bot that suggests auto formatting with prettier. I just posted that in the chat. And I want it to like, oh yeah, I literally mentioned this open contribution site. What I'd like it to do is if it sees that you have a PR that has formatting issue, it should basically just post this message. Eventually I'll write it. I would love to also make it so like the bot, if you like give it a thumbs up or like come with a certain response, it'll like auto format for you. But maybe just for now, I can have the bot comment. Ooh, a chat. Flavio AD, welcome. Hey, I would like to become full-time open source for Dev2. Any tips? You have an open source project, apivault.dev. If you want to check it out, how do you make a living out of it? Ooh, interesting. Let me check it out. It's not easy to be a full-time open source person if you want to be financially sustainable. Oh, this is cute. Look at this. Ooh. Start. Ah, I'm the 200th star. Cool. Nice and accessible. I like to see that. Category animals. Oh, this is nice. Cool. People, so there are two things to talk about here. Stars 199. If I refresh, I got to update that API caching. There it is. There's the concept of like, how does one effectively act as an open source dev/maintainer? And then how does one get money? Because those are both important for most people and some people. Everyone needs at least one of them. I'd say in general, get a lot of experience in open source, work in other people's repos, see how other folks in your area of tech and or code do things. For money, you got to provide a value prop. Like have some sort of online persona or like corporate sponsors or something that like trust you and know that you're doing real work. Like one way to do that is to work on real projects. Like, I mean, every project is real, but like real as in people like consider it like a known entity, like TypeScript ESLint. Yeah, that's my first set of thoughts. Let me know if there are follow-up questions. Hear me out. Just make a bot that formats the main branch. If I were to make a bot that modifies the main branch, I'd make it add little emojis to the commit titles. I've been wanting that for ages. But no, I think a developer, for starters, should be able to effectively use the dev tooling in a repo to contribute to the repo. I consider that, at least for my repos, like a reasonable prerequisite. It's a nice idea committing to main, but like if someone can't run the formatter, they're not going to be able to, probably not going to be able to like validate changes locally. And I definitely want people to be able to do that. Also, it's a real pain in the butt reviewing PRs that aren't formatted well. This one's fine. Like an end line here and there isn't gonna make or break. But like there is some ugly code things I've seen where I'm just like, I'm not gonna review this. So it's better to just, in my opinion, have everyone be running things locally, or at least in the equivalent of local. Like Rizel set up this repo with CodeSpace support. So like if you wanted to code here and you don't want to or can't set it up locally, you can always create a CodeSpace that does stuff for you. Cool. Good questions, good points. All right. So we have this one. So CSpell I reviewed. And then we have open source for non-developers. So here's a problem. I don't know how to get to this page. Port 3000 is in use, trying 3001. That's fine. All right. So it should be under /open contribution site /page /open source for non-developers, I would think. It's because the file name has spaces in it. Let me see if CBit Chrissy posted back. New version of the original PR, yay. Yeah, so I don't see any way to get to the page. So in Next.js, the way pages are set up is something called file-based routing. I think that's at least the colloquial term, if not the technical one. So every page corresponds to a thing under basically the same URL, under the pages directory. There's like a new app router, which is awesome, and I haven't switched this to, but like for now we're talking about pages. So like if you go to pages /get-involved, because there's a get-involved file, now there's a get-involved root. But with spaces in the name, I don't know how to I literally don't know like how to access that, if there's even a way. Like Next.js file with spaces in name, pages, /for public. Oh no, that's the public directory. Bugs. You know what? Yeah, I'm not. So like we would want the page to, or maybe it's open -source -for -non-developers. Nope. Yeah, I can't figure it out. Ooh, a link. Is this the, god dang it, Chrome. There we go. Yeah, that's, oh yeah, sorry if I didn't post that here. Yeah, that's the PR link. Good. So yeah, so this is just a blocker in general for me to be, I'll still be able to merge, or rather, I'll still be able to review, but I can't merge this. Build the file name. Oh, Parasocial, can you link that? I'd love to see. If you got the bot already set up. Nice. That'd be great for me. File name shouldn't contain any spaces. I don't know how to preview this file locally. Joy. I'd say the standard already in this repo is to use hyphens, e.g. how get involved MD is. Cool. So like I can make this change locally, but my theology is to not do stuff for people that like they would need to do anyway. Like I don't want to deprive people of the experience and pleasure of getting work done. Okay, so this is what the page would actually look like if we were to rename it. So now I can actually review the contents. Yay, the most fun part. Cool. So open source for non-developers. I really like these headings, by the way. And one of the things I'm always bad at is like relieving praise and trying to get better at this. Yay! Permission. No, I will let you. Praise. Teach a developer to format. There's some phrase in there. Praise. I really like the headings. The flow of what, why. Yeah, like what, why. More wise is really useful, or is a really good match here. Yeah. Ooh, from Flavio Ed for the API vault and monetize, or I don't know. Like, why would, this is not a negative question. This is just like the question I would ask for any project. Why would one sponsor that. Like if the project is going well and you you think like it's getting traction, it's useful to people, then yeah, like I think it makes sense to invest in that. But one thing that I've also had a lot of people give me is suggestions of feedback when I started was make sure you're not all in one project unless that project's like really long-term sustainable. So like I have found a lot of value in trying out a bunch of different projects and seeing what sticks. But also there are some people who would insist that no, you pick one project and do it really well. That's how you get the project good. So I don't know. I'd say try it all out, see what works for you. But as long as you're learning and making valuable stuff, valuable in some way, like content that's useful, making the project better, helping other people find things, like that's the important stuff. Yay. Okay, so I'm just going to nitpick here. Open source is software whose, I believe it's whose source code. Just nitpicking. I think this is technically more accurate. Something, a technical correction. Something isn't open source, isn't necessarily open source if it's only partially consisting of open source code. In fact, fun fact, I'll put this little fun fact at the end. Fun fact, most proprietary code, I would even say almost all proprietary code contains some open source dependencies. Cool. Awesome. Thank you for the link, Parasocial Fix. I will put these on my queue to take a look at after this stuff. Yay. But this is, by the way, I always like, what? The diff is outdated. Did you just push a commit? I love it. Merge branch main. Cool. I don't like how there's no way to say like whenever this particular person is sending a commit, like always approve and run for them. Like because it's a first time contribution and I've enabled the like you have to approve people. It always asks. Annoying. Anyway, containing to whose. So I always want to make sure if it's a nitpick, I always explicitly say, so I don't want people to think it's like, oh no, it's like a huge deal. It's not, if it's not. Cool. Open source is software containing source code that's freely modified and redistributed. I'm going to also suggest whose source code that can be freely viewed. Freely modifiable isn't correct. Just because someone suggests something doesn't mean suggest a modification. Doesn't mean it's going to be accepted. Wikipedia is not the model we want people to think of, because a lot of companies get worried about open source, like, oh my god, does it mean anyone can change our stuff like Wikipedia? Like I've heard that fear a lot, and it's not. Yeah, everything depends on the license. There's like a whole art and craft of understanding true open source. Licensing, yeah, maybe the Wikipedia. Freely available for I recognize this phrase, for possible modification. But this is, honestly, I don't like this phrasing because it's like kind of, it leans towards something. But yeah, the concept of open source as a term is like debatable because there's true open source, free open source software. Here's what I was looking for, which is like a more strict thing. Like for example, something can be technically source open if like the source is viewable, but it prevents someone from using it if, let's say, they're like in a particular dictatorial regime. But then to be freely open source, you can't have restrictions like that because of the moral boundaries and debatabilities. So fun debates there that I won't be getting into. Anyway, why do products become open source? I will avoid getting into this discussion because it's deep and I want to review code later. All right, so to interact with customers, making designs and code open source, consumers, pardon me. Consumers have a more direct way to improve the project they enjoy, which in turn can save your company time and effort in creating troubleshooting guides. Beautiful, excellent. To reach more demographics, this I definitely agree with. Through social media, not necessarily. A lot of open sourcers um, don't really use. Not everyone uses social media, so proofreading. I'm gonna call these proofreading actually, because this one actually ended up being more than a net. Proofreading. Proofreading. I wouldn't say we all are on social media, or we tend to be on social media. A lot of open source folks use different communication platforms, e.g. forums and IRC, or none at all. Maybe, I don't know exactly how I would suggest this. Shirley Neon, hello. Am I working on some open source AI models? No, I haven't done AI in, well, I've never done anything more than trivial with AI, and not working on the models right now. Nope, wrong command, my bad. Bang project. There we go. Yeah, PR number 107. Maybe a better phrasing, or like a more accurate phrasing. Open source projects are often viewed by many consumers, are often freely viewed by many consumers. So that, something like that? Maybe not. I'm not confident. Your mileage may vary, as they say. Build loyalty and trust. Phrase, really like these 3 points, by the way. I do really like them. Typo, it's a period here instead of commas. Since open source products allow people to see the code, see source code, the transparency helps to build trust between consumers and the product's creators. Yep. That could work. Awesome. All right, 1/3 done, I think. Slightly more than a third. 2/5 done. Okay, why do companies often choose to consume open source? Innovation. Since open source software allows people to propose changes, it allows a participation from a wide variety of contributions. This means more contributors can propose ideas and improve the project. Beautiful. Awesome. Chef kiss. Cost effective. OSS is often free, which in turn helps companies save money. This is because the software is developed and maintained by community developers rather than by a single company. This means that there is no need to pay for software licenses, which can be a significant expense for businesses. Awesome. Yes. Great. Is that a Master Chief helmet in my background? Yes, it is. It's the legendary Halo 3 Legendary Edition shenanigan. Fun fact, visually it is a helmet. Practically it's a game case. It's a little box area there. Used to be a big Halo fan. Oh, you're going to love this. Got a little cheap Amazon energy sword here, this friend. I got this Hunter from a Halo Gala, which is like a 343 Industries event they used to hold. I don't know if they still do, on the main campus in Redmond/Bellevue. I got the less high quality than other games, legendary whatever edition thing from Halo 5 there. That's all I'm going to say about Halo 5 in quality. Yeah, I'm a former big Halo fan. Thank you. I like Halo. Rest in peace, Halo video game. Okay, back to the code. Yo, Halo. Good. That was a good series. Awesome. All right. This is because the software was already developed and tested, so businesses do not need to spend time and money developing all this software. This can free businesses to focus on their core business activities. Awesome. No, thank you for the attention. Yeah, no, these are great. Praise. These 3 are great. No notes. 100. Yay. Why do companies often choose to publish open source? To build a community. The transparency of OSP allows companies various ways to promote their products, ranging from blog posts about the products, tweets that spotlight members. Okay, I think that sentence is incomplete, but it's good content. great content, but either incomplete or a typo. Yeah, so the ranging from blog posts, I think it's ranging from blog posts about the products to tweets at Spotlight members for their contributions to. I would also say social media posts, because you never know whether Twitter's going to be around. And people actually use LinkedIn a lot too in the professional world. Not that I like that. Increase security since open source communities tend to be large. Bugs and tech issues can be fixed in a quick time frame. According to a 2021 survey done by Red Hat, love the linking. 89% of IT leaders at companies worldwide believe open source software was just as secure or more secure. This is an awesome, great link. Great link. Potential employees. Yep, this is like one of the greatest parts of it in my experience. Really like this. So yeah, great content. Love the overall flow of it, flow/narrative, and many of the points made. And there's even a data informed aspect. Requesting changes on a bit of proofreading typos and the build failures. So let's look at the build failures. This will be good exploration. Oh yeah, and the file name and build failures. So in every PR in GitHub, you have a set of checks that can run. I'm gonna go to this thing's checks tab. They're also viewable on the bottom of the PR's whatever timeline thingy. So here we have 3 failing: compliance, lint markdown, and prettier. These are all things that can be run locally, at least in projects that I maintain. Other projects sometimes have like weird fancy stuff. This error is actually something I fixed in my TypeScript template package. I'll bring the fixes here. It should be like commenting nicely. But generally this PR's title should conform to specification at conventionalcommits.org. If we go to the quick summary, it should be something like this if we format the title like a feature or docs or whatever. So looking at the title here, it's in square brackets rather than the like conventional commit thing, which is a colon, no brackets. So that's a failure there. That's why the action is failing. We do this because we categorize contributions based on what type they are, like feature, bug fix, etc. All right, PNPM lint MD. So we have a linter tool that looks at your code without running it and yells at you if there are things it doesn't like. So if you run npm lint MD locally, which by the way is also mentioned in that development file with like little links to all the different tools we use. So it's got a bunch of complaints. I wrote a plugin called sentences per line for the standard markdown linter, which says that you should put things on their own line. So if we were to fix a few, you have fewer complaints. So that's nice. And the last thing is PM formats. So again, if we PM format : write, it should fix all this stuff up for us. Alternately, if we make git commits, it should fix it. Cool. You made another thing. Awesome. Ah, another one. Very exciting. Let's approve and run. So, all right. So this one also has similar file name issue as 107. Points up. But let me check it out, literally and figuratively. So, oh yeah, I gotta post on the socials. Finish that review, on to the next one. Vary my emojis up a little bit. All right. Eventually I'll write a tool that automates this for me. And then I'll like have it like auto generate my like YouTube uploads, the captions or descriptions or whatever. But for now, GHPR checkout 109. Create a guide on how to contribute to open source. Oop. Git pull pnpmi pnpm run dev. So I have it running locally. Oh, right. It doesn't make sense to run it locally as much because I need to fix the file name. How to get funding. Also, wait, is this how to get funding or how to contribute? Common ways of contributing to projects, any common legal or paperwork needed to contribute employee time, any common needed to publish projects as open source. Cool. .take, oh yeah, we have a take action. Forgot about that. All right, so yeah, this is how to get funding for your open source projects, or this PR talks about how to contribute. Ah, interesting. So, got it. Okay. But the pay, all right. Well, is about getting funding. Let's go with how to contribute to open source. Yeah, so this talks about, here, test.md. By the way, there's a space after the period. Let's go to guides test. And like root path is all poopy. You haven't heard about it because it has like almost no content. But thank you. In the meantime, and I'm still not sure how much I want to defer or like just link back to this. In the meantime, like opensource.guide has a lot of the same ideas of things, just like a different skew of how to explain them. Like this one is more about like you're the open source person. So like this is kind of similar to the vibe I'm going for. But yeah, I've been wanting to get to this thing for ages. I just keep getting sidetracked by other stuff and priorities and whatnot. So yeah, eventually I will like publish and promote this thing more. Exciting. Cool. So yeah, this is about how to get funding. Chrissy, I'm gonna hold off reviewing this as it looks like it's two guides. I know we're meeting later, so we can just talk about it. Chat. Funding and contributing. But yeah, I think I've given you enough requests in 107 so that you've got some stuff to do. So let me know if you got nothing to do and you're blocked in me, and I can always re-review. Cool. Awesome. So that's those things. Why are there 3 PRs? Oh, this one's a draft. I wait to review. Yay. All right. What do I got for my notifications? That's not this. That's 19 hours ago. Awesome. What else did I want to do? Parasol, you want me to review your your pull request? Is that still around? What I could do is, so I mentioned that I've got this this repo based on my template TypeScript node package stuff. So let me take a look at this Fogbender OSS thing. Okay, so this is the check flow, which is the set of. So one thing that I'll note here is this is a different way of setting up the CI that runs on PRs than what I personally go for. If we look at like whatever the build task, what I'll generally do is I'll have a separate either job like build or even a separate workflow with one job each for my CI. Oh, excuse me. Ugh, my throat. Drink water, folks. It's good for you. The reason why is this flow will do these things in series. It'll build, then it'll format CI, then it'll test. So yeah, you get separate check marks, so they happen in parallel. That's like my personal preference. the It's fine. I mean, this is a reasonable way of doing things. And one of the advantages is you don't have like 50 bajillion check marks. But yeah, that's my preference. So yeah, I see yarn format CI, which I'm guessing is in the package JSON. So prettier dash dash check. Yep, that's reasonable. Similar to how we do it. And then also you have your release script, which runs format. Cool. Yeah. Ooh, hi archetype. It makes you sad how many files typically need to be in the root of a JSTS repo. It seems wrong to have to scroll and get a page just get the README. Yeah, this is unfortunate. I will say this repo has much more stuff in it than most do. I don't know how I feel about this. Like I for me, the base is I want a repo, a template that has all the stuff I want. Linting Markdown, linting TypeScript, testing, and all releases, all these things. I think eventually this will get a lot better. There's a rewrite of ESLint that'll eventually come out that allows moving a lot of these tools into ESLint more easily, like Markdown lint, npm package, JSON lint. What a silly name. Also, I remember there was like a proposal somewhere about having one folder for all these files that like people would respect. I don't remember what that folder was named. It's not GitHub. It's like .settings or .config or something. Prab hate exit 1. Hello, welcome. Thanks for chatting. .config directory proposal. Does anyone know what I'm talking about? Is it time to send your PR for review? Yes, it is. Ooh. .config. Maybe it's this thing I was thinking of. Oh, only 21 stars. I thought there was more. Just common sense. I love it. Oh. What is XDG? Free desktop. Okay, as soon as we start getting into Linux philosophies, I'm out of here. That's what people... Yeah, then we saw people complaining that package JSON is huge. Feature add ESLint. Awesome. B2B SaaS. Yeah. I don't know. My personal preference would be to have like a .config folder. Or also, wasn't there like a new GitHub layout that shows the README first? Weren't they flighting this in some way? I don't know. Anyway, yeah, it's an issue. Create a B2B app, quick link for free. Awesome. Oh, you got the nice little gradient there. Love to see the bottom gradients. Ooh, Astro, very nice. Oh yeah, you should see the ESLints on my repo. It's intense. Yeah, like, oh, look. This looks familiar. I haven't made progress on it in ages. But eventually, once I finish my like repo templating stuff, I'll get back to working on my personal site, which has an ESLint config. Cool, this all looks reasonable just at first glance. So what this PR is doing is adding ESLints to the repo using TypeScript ESLint, which is the tool that lets you run ESLint on TypeScript code. This is necessary because the ESLint project intentionally does not recognize TypeScript natively. It provides like specific APIs and stuff for you to be able to add in like a new parser and stuff. All right, so if there's no lock file here. You don't check in your lock file? Ah, I got you. Yeah, my Twitter bio is eventually I'll put up did you want to find joshuakigolber.com, but this site is a rickle. Makes me so happy. All right, so I know there's a tool people keep saying that I should use that like runs the right install thing, but okay, so what? I'm on yarn1.x. That's probably fine. Yarn dev. Oh wait, I was gonna check out the branch. GH PR checkout 21. Yarn dev. You stop checking in your root lock file because you have no prod depths, your versions are pain, and that's just how desperate I was to clean up the repo. Well, can't argue with that. Yeah, not going with a particular package manager yet is a reasonable way to justify. Cool. All right. Got it working locally. Yeah, I don't. One of the things I like about like ESLint and TypeScript type of work, static analysis, is that there's no actual need to get it running locally if you're not making any changes to source code. So for now, I'm just going to run yarn-lint. Look at that, max forwarding 0 or port and use disable directives. This honestly makes me happy to see people like use these things. I'm so excited about. Yay! All right, so you got some lint complaints, so I'm going to run with --fix to fix a bunch of them. But yeah, so just looking through this config, it's similar to what I use, what I have in my template stuff. By default, you extend from all sorts of good configs, such as the TypeScript ESLint recommended rules and the core ESLint recommended rules. Strong +1 archetype. For specifically Astro files, I remember this being a thing. For specifically Astro files, we enable recommended requiring type checking and strict. That's great. We use the TypeScript ESLint parser as the parser for Astro ESLint parser. So Astro ESLint parser is the parser used by ESLint, and then it can be told to use something to parse stuff inside of it, such as the TypeScript ESLint parser. I love it. So that's for .astro files. Why no unsafe assignment isn't working? Let's see what happens. Is there like a yarn build? Astro build. Okay. So ESLint RC CJS, no unsafe assignment. So what happens if we? Oh boy. I didn't read the README and now I'm failing to build the thing. All right, well, yarn-lint. Let's see what happens. Yeah, yarn-lint it is. All right, cannot. Oh boy. So there's a bug, a crash. That's unfortunate. All right, so the deprecation thing fails. Let's just go to the code itself. So the deprecation fails on line 16, looking at app client. And cool. So it's complaining on, it's trying to get symbol on line 190. So TSID is services, ES3 node, TS node map, get ID. So what happens if we look at the ID? So like, while this is run, what's happening here is the deprecation rule is given an ID. I don't know what that ID is yet, but it's like some kind of node, and it's trying to find the corresponding TypeScript understanding of that ID node based on the ESLint understanding of it. So the problem is, so I mean, this, by the way, this is why a lot of people are annoyed at ESLint's part of it, because like we're using 3 separate weird tools. We're using like, I guess 2 separate weird tools along with core JavaScript. We're using Astro and TypeScript, which are weird in the sense that they add like AST things, like they mess around with JavaScript. I love both of them, but you know, weird. So the problem is there's no corresponding TypeScript node for this ID, which yeah, so which is an unfortunate thing. The ID is from 4th through. All right, so the last ID we try to look at is 398 to 404. So that's 398 to 404. Okay, so it's failing to get the equivalent TypeScript ID for this. Is this valid TypeScript syntax, by the way? Like if we were to plop this into the TypeScript ESLint playground, const wat equals, well, you know, I'm just gonna put this on the TypeScript lang playground because it's a little faster than ours. All right, declare const app any whatever, and then I enable JSX React. And what is this complaining about? Cannot find name React. All right, declare const React any. Okay, so this is valid. And what I'm wondering is this an Astro bug, an ESLint plugin deprecation bug, or a TypeScript ESLint bug? I don't know. I also have only 5 minutes left in here before I have to go, so I don't know if I'll get to the bottom of it. But, sorry, yeah, I said Astro. I meant Astro Parser, not Core Astro, but like the Astro ESLint plugin and or the Astro Parser itself. Yeah, I want to say this is also something I did in my personal site, which means I will look at it eventually. Normally at this point, I'd be like, oh, I should file an issue. Yeah. So I have a to-do to investigate this. Awesome. And I'm guessing no unsafe assignment is the same way, where it's going to complain in some way. You're updating the language server to Volar. Oh, interesting. Okay. Okay, rerunning YarnLint. No unsafe assignment. Let's take a look at index.astro, line 29. Value is processed n of x or input. This actually looks like a reasonable thing. Line 13. Wait, help with those prompts, get prompts. Why is this complaining? Oh, I'm looking at the wrong line. Line 28. We, the royal we. Prompts.astro, no, fogbender.ts, there is line 28. So, okay, so this actually isn't any. So request.any returns a promise. Sorry, request.json returns a promise for any. So, yeah, I mean, as long as you have a to-do to investigate, this is fine. Yeah, otherwise this looks great. This is solid. I like this. You've got your parser set to TS-ESLint, project true, which means each file's type information is computed based on the nearest tsconfig to that file, which is now going to be always your root tsconfig. You've got all sorts of great plugins, solid, JSX accessibility, regular expressions. Awesome. Yay. This looks good to me. Cool. So let me just post on the threads. Did I say solid when I meant to say Astro? Cool. One more review. Oh, shoot. I'm sorry. Did I forget to tag? No, I didn't. Okay. One more review looking at a PR suggested by Parasocial. And we're done for the day. I'm hungry. I actually am hungry right now. Bang extension. I don't know what Bang extension is commonly doing in Twitch, but let me know if I should add that. Oh, did I say it's a solid PR? Sorry. I also forgot to update the Bang project command. Anyway. And here we go. Oh yeah, I should probably update these ats. You wanna... It's only a matter of time before Blue Sky gets so popular I can just give up on Mastodon. Can't wait. Anyway, this was fun. Thanks for joining me, everyone. I'm Josh. To recap, I'm a full-time open source maintainer. This is just a snippet of all the fun stuff that I do in open source land. I also write code sometimes, once in a while. Oh, what are the extensions I have in VS Code? Instead of a tag for that, I have a template TypeScript node repo. Thank you for asking. So template TypeScript node package, VS Code. So all the extensions I recommend for typical VS Code developments in like a typical TypeScript repo are just in this package here. VS Code extensions. And yes, this link is, or this list is quite small because I don't really use a lot of extensions day to day. Like once in a while, I'll install something new. Like I never use AsciiDoc. Astro is a good recommendation if you're using Astro, but like I try to use as few extensions as possible. A lot of mine have been disabled. WSL. Oh, right. That's from when I work in Windows. Cool. Yeah, enjoy that. Anyway, I also wrote a book, Learning TypeScript, which is my favorite book for learning TypeScript. All you need to know is JavaScript. So shout out to that. It's in the chat. Lastly, if y'all want to support my work, I don't have a job. I'm just independent. I do this stuff full time. So if you want to sponsor me, that would be awesome. It would let me do more work, and I'm always happy to shout you out or help you with stuff if that's useful. This was a pleasure, and I'll upload the recording to YouTube soon and post it on the socials. Bye, everyone. Can you write one teaching JavaScript if you know TypeScript? That's funny. No, I do not recommend learning TypeScript second. Where's my OBS?